Well, hey there, everybody. Welcome back to the channel. Thanks for hanging out with me again today. And today we have the Hornet Evo. Finally got it done. Now, it does not look box art, but it is close to box art. So I didn't really want to go with black. I'll put a picture up here if I still have one on my computer of my original Hornet. And I did that with the Lamar flake, and then backed it with a black. So it has that like bass boat sparkle to it. I almost did it with this one, but I really want to do something different. You know, this is a Hornet, but it's not the Hornet. So in a modern interpretation, did it very close, but it did it in the gunmetal. So it's the PS23 gunmetal color, and it gives it that nice dark look, but in the light you see it has that nice silvery gunmetal look to it, but it still retains that overall dark kind of coloration that the original would have had with the black paint. I thought about doing silver, and that would have looked really good, but I think Luke did his in silver. I'm pretty sure I saw either something on Instagram or a thumbnail of something of Luke doing one in silver, and I'm like, well, can't do silver. And, you know, it's fine. I just thought it was going to be a little too light. Somebody suggested, hey, why don't you do the new Hornet Evo in white? And I was like, ooh, that would look really cool. The only reason I didn't do it in white is the lettering would be lost. You know, that would be fine. I could probably recreate the lettering. The biggest issue would be the Hornet on the hood, and I didn't want to lose that classic square Hornet logo. So decided not to go white. It would have looked cool. And if I'd done like the antique white, maybe it would have been all right. It would have stood out enough. But went with the gunmetal. Really happy with it. Now, this literally just got done. Yep. Still smells of spray paint. I put 3 coats of the gunmetal on it today, and then backed it in just some black, just to black out the interior. Now the meat and potatoes of the build, it's a very different buggy. Um, Aside from, the body shell, basically, other than this little notch area that they put mold lines in, and the front has a bigger section that you have to cut out. So they redid the body with the new mold lines, so you have the cut lines for this specific one. But basically the body and the wing is the same. The chassis tub is the same, the Nerf bars are the same, wheels and tires are the same, front bumper is the same, and that's the end of it. Everything else is different. It's just everything in here is all new, all changed, modified, retrofitted to work with the new system, and it seems to be pretty cool. Now the rear, I did add 2 spring spacers to it, just because with no spring spacers in it, man, this thing just sat like that. It feels like the rear is just undersprung. Like it needs a little bit more spring tension, or a heavier weight spring to really spring that rear end. And the front, that seems fine. I got no spring spacers in there. I can space that out, but, once I space that out, it was really, had that Carolina squat to it. So may end up having to put, this is without a battery. So once you drop it, it sits fairly level, but I'm thinking once you have a battery in here, it's going to want to squat down some more. So I may end up having to put another heavy spring spacer in the back. I don't know. We'll see. I'm going to run it as is. Now we have the cheapy 995 servo in here. We have the Hobby Wing ESC that it comes with. I have a Radio Link R6F receiver in here, just because that's what I had. Hobby Wing and Tamiya are making tiny little baby steps to getting it right. What I mean by that is the last 2 kits that I've gotten have come with a long, like 6-inch switch wire on there. So now you are not restricted, within a 2-inch radius of the ESC to mount the wire. You actually have some length of wire to move that switch around. Sadly, it's still the little micro switch that does not bolt up. So basically, you're left with just a couple options. You can cut and solder a Tamiya style switch onto it. You can just mount the switch to the ESC, turn it on, and when you unplug and plug your battery in, it's on. Or you can get kind of creative. You get some spare hardware for the wheels, the supplied long screws for the switch, and the extra washer, or the extra nuts. I was able to secure the switch down. So basically, from underneath you put the thin bolt with a washer up through, and you do that on both sides. So I mounted the switch with just 2 little very thin slices of double stick tape where the switch needed to go, just so it would stay in position. And then on each side of that, you have the 2 bolts coming up, and then you have to drop washers and nuts on top of that. You need 3 hands, really. Basically, I ended up with this in between my legs, squishing it in between my legs, holding the screwdriver here with the nut driver over here, trying to put that on. It works, but you had to kind of get a little creative, especially with how you're holding it, because there's no good way to, be on both sides working teeny tiny little things. The one curiosity I had was these front and rear arms. They look like there's some kind of fiber reinforced plastic. They're not. They're just a semi-flexible regular plastic, but it looks like they sandblasted the molds, so instead of polishing them so you get nice smooth finishes like normal plastic cast molds are, these look like they've been lightly sandblasted or some sort of texture finish put onto the mold. When they cast them, they look like they are better parts per se than they actually are. Normally when you see that grayish kind of like matte looking plastic, you're like, ooh, fiber reinforced plastics, those are going to be super tough. Yeah, these things are just as flexible and wiggly as any of the other soft Tamiya plastics. I mean, it's basically the same thing the front bumper is made out of, just with a texture on it. Now, don't quote me, I don't know exactly what makeup they are, but when I got the parts tree, I was like, ooh, those are really nice. And then I looked, And if you see the arms, they're all finished like a sandblasted texture, but the rest of the sprue has the shiny plastic finish like all the other plastics do. False advertising by, association. You're not getting super tough fiber reinforced suspension arms. They're just a finished plastic. Not complaining, just wanted to point that out to anybody that sees them and be like, ooh, look at that, fiber reinforced arms. Or you get excited like I did when I got the kit. I'm like, oh man, they put some nice arms in here. They probably are. They're just not what you immediately associate with that color and texture of plastic. Now, like I said, the whole thing is a whole different ballgame. So, the transmission back here is all the standard DTO3 transmission. Now, attaching it to the chassis is all new plastic. So you have a piece that mounts to the front of the transmission that mounts to this, that clips in here, and then you have a piece down here that slides into where the normal hinge piece goes for the suspension. So all of it is now rigid here, so there is no flex, no movement there. That feels plenty strong. You just have all your flex and movement in the arms themselves. Very cool and unique way that they did this. They wanted to use that existing chassis. They could have done away with this whole arm system and shortened it up and done a whole lot of different stuff with it, but they wanted to use this chassis, and that's kind of the heart of the Hornet hopper chassis class, is this whole tub. Now the front suspension, they did away with the pivoting, flappy arms and made a new center section here, which your kind of gull wing arms now ride, and they pivot in line with the chassis instead of kind of that 25-degree angle weird pivot that they used to have. Overall, there is a little bump steer in it. As it flexes, the tires do kind of flare out. Right now I just have it dead straight. I can adjust the toe in, out. However, right now I just have it dead straight, so it should be fairly neutral. I know the rear end's just going to have gobs of grip. These tires rock. It may just be my imagination, but it feels like these tires are softer than the regular Hornet tires, but could be these are just a lot newer than my other Hornet tires. Motor-wise, I did stick in a GT Tune motor. So I know the transmission in here is going to be bulletproof, so I did not worry about putting in, a higher, more torquey 25-turn motor. These are the only thing I'm worried about is just that rear end squat you get on power, and it's going to want to be dragging that skid plate across the yard. So we may have to put some stiffer springs on there, or some more shock collars to space that out. I really don't have any complaints. I don't have any complaints about this. The only thing I would have liked to seen, they would have given us 2 sets of rear axles. One for the stock setup, and then another pair to be able to put in and run the different wheels and stuff on there. But with these, you have, a 1/4 inch of thread sticking out of the wheel. It looks like there's something wrong with it, but there's not. It's just the way it's designed to be able to run with different things. And it is cool that they allow you to be able to run the different wheels and tires and everything on there. Now, I did have a set of the silver wheels that are identical, well, that look identical to these. I don't remember what they're off of. Was it the Brat? No, the Brat were white. Fighter buggy? I don't even remember. But I had a set sitting in the drawer over there, and I remembered it after I already had these on. And I'm like, ooh, I can put those on, and that would look really cool with this. Totally different size. A larger wheel diameter. It's somewhere between these tiny ones and the standard 2.2s. Somewhere in there. I don't know. So that's why we still have the white ones on there. So the stickers went on really well. I cut all the big chunks of sticker out and got everything lined up, cut a little bit of the backer off, get it stuck, just because you have, let's see, on this side you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 sections of the flame and stripe from front to back, and there's 5 on this side. So getting those all lined up and getting them perfect is really, really difficult if you're just sticking them on there. Now, if you do soapy water, it should be all right. But yeah, the decals take some time. Now, my only complaint, and it's a minor one, but Tamiya prints all kinds of little extras on the sticker sheet. So You know, you have these Hornet Evo stickers. They don't go anywhere. You have the little square Hornets. That's cool. They don't go anywhere. You had these little Tamiya logos. They're not called for in the instructions. I just put them back there to add more to the wing. You have Tamiya.com. Nobody's going to put Tamiya.com on their car, I don't think. And if they had just put in a small section, you know, half-inch long little section of orange, yellow, or yellow, orange, and dark orange, just to be able to patch in any little tiny misses of the decals. So like on this little bump out here, which was originally for the servo arm when, you know, eons ago when you had mechanical speed controls in here, the bump out was for the arm to be able to reach out and not push against the body. Well, so you have a sticker running up here, you have a sticker running back here, and then you have one covering the hump. Well, I lined it up tight to that, and I lined it up tight to that, and I put this one on, and no matter what I did, it didn't want to cover it fully. So there's a little crack in the back and a little crack in the front. You know, just a little thin piece of sticker, and I could have just laid it right down in that corner and then put this sticker over top of it. Oh well. Oh, there is no driver figure in here yet because, like I said, I literally just got done painting the body, and the driver figure is still upstairs with a very blank face and not fully painted yet. So I will get the driver figure in here. So I'll get some up-close pictures of it once I get it all wrapped up and get ready to take it out for a ride. For tonight, I'll just throw it up on the twirly-do, and you guys can kind of get a 360 view of it up close. But I just want to get this out there, guys. I know a lot of people are planning on building these over the holidays. The build goes very well. The instructions are very good. Everything goes well. Just take your time on the stripes. Of course, any of the overlapping, you know, multi-overlapping decal sets are kind of tricky. But overall, it's a blast the body, all one color. Put on the roll bar decals, and it looks fabulous. Like I said, these and this, the little Hornet Evo and the Hornet label down there, I just added those because I had the extra decals. And of course, you know, as always, make it your own. Yeah, I really don't have anything else positive or negative. We'll have to get it out for a run, see how it drives. I've seen others, and you know, everybody's looks like it scoots around really, really well. I know some guys have said it has a bit of understeer because just there's not enough weight up front, so I may stick a couple weights up here after we run it just to see, but there is room up there. You can stick a few wheel weights or something up there to give you a little bit more downward contact. Anyway, guys, I have rambled on enough. I'm going to get this thing up on the little twirly doohickey and let you guys see it up close, and I'm out of here. So everybody out there, as always, be happy, be healthy, be safe, and I'll catch you on the next one. See you guys.